Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful and honestly time-saving tools in the database world, SQL batch jobs. If you're looking to make your life easier and automate your workflow, you are in exactly the right place.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You know the drill. That weekly report that has to get run, the daily data cleanup, the big end-of-month summary. It's repetitive, it's manual, and let's face it, it's a huge time sink. But what if I told you there's a much, much better way?
So, here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics. What even is a batch job? Then we're going to get our hands dirty and actually build one together. After that, we'll unleash its true power with scheduling, learn how to make it rock solid with error handling, and finally, we'll see it all come together in a real-world example.
All right, first things first. Let's build a solid foundation here. What exactly are we talking about when we say batch job?
At its core, the idea is really simple. A SQL batch job is just a bunch of commands that you group together to run as a single unit. So instead of running, say, 10 different queries one after the other, you just run the whole batch at once.
I love this analogy. Think about a chef in a busy kitchen. They're not just cooking one ingredient at a time, right? No way. They're following a recipe, doing all the prep, combining steps. It's all about efficiency. Your batch job is that expert chef for your database, streamlining everything.
So why should you care? Well, it's about way more than just saving a few clicks. Batch jobs give you three massive wins. First, automation, which means you can set it and forget it. Second, consistency, because a script runs the exact same way every single time, removing any chance of human error. And third, performance, because you're letting the database figure out the most efficient way to run a whole set of complex commands at once.
Okay, that's enough theory for now. Let's get to the fun part and actually see how this works. We're going to build our very first job, step by step.
It's really just a few simple parts. First up, we create something called a stored procedure. The easiest way to think of this is just as a container, or maybe a recipe card, that's going to hold all of our instructions. Okay, now that we have our container, we put our core logic inside it. This is the actual work we want to get done. In this little example here, we're running a simple update command to give all our electronics a 10% price bump.
And finally, with everything neatly packaged inside our procedure, we run the whole thing with one single command, exec. And just like that, we've bundled all that logic into one clean, repeatable task.
So, we've built a job. That's awesome. But, the real magic, the true power, happens when you don't even have to be there to click run. Let's look at how we put this thing on autopilot.
It's kind of like a garden sprinkler system, right? You don't go outside every single night to turn it on. You just set the timer to run at 5 a.m. and then you never have to think about it again. That's exactly what we're about to do for our batch job. Now, this code might look a little intimidating at first glance, but it's really not. It's just a set of simple instructions. You give your job a unique name, you tell it what command to run, in our case, our update product prices procedure. Then you define how often you want it to run. 4 here just means daily. And finally, you tell it when to start. Here, 00000000 means it's going to run every day right at midnight. Simple. Okay, so we've got a job, and it's scheduled to run all by itself. But what happens if something goes wrong? An automated process that fails silently is, well, it's a huge risk. We need a safety net. This is where error handling is an absolute game changer. Imagine a car assembly line. If one little part is defective, the whole factory doesn't grind to a halt. Of course not. A quality control system flags the issue, logs it, and the line keeps moving. That is precisely what we want our batch job to do. And the difference it makes is night and day. Without error handling, your job could fail silently, maybe even corrupting data along the way without you ever knowing. But with proper error handling, any problem gets logged so you can review it, the process can continue safely, and figuring out what went wrong becomes so much easier. And the solution is actually pretty elegant. You just wrap your main code in what's called a try block. If anything inside that block breaks, the whole system doesn't just crash and burn. Instead, it immediately jumps over to the catch block, where you can safely log the error or send an alert. It's a lifesaver. Okay, we've covered the what, the how, and the why. We've built our job, scheduled it, and made it robust. Now let's put it all together and see the real-world payoff. So think about a super common business problem. Your company has, say, 300,000 individual transactions happening every single day. But what the boss really needs is a clean, simple monthly sales report. Trying to summarize all that data by hand? It would be an absolute nightmare. This is the perfect job for automation. We can build a batch job that runs automatically on the first day of every month. It first clears out last month's summary, then it calculates and inserts all the brand new totals from the 30 days prior. And here's the beautiful result. Instead of someone on your team spending hours, maybe even days, crunching numbers, you get a clean, accurate, fully automated sales number delivered right on time, every time. The value here is immediate, and it is huge. So we've gone on a journey from a simple concept all the way to a powerful real-world application. We've seen how to build, schedule, and protect these automated tasks. So now the only question left is for you. When you think about your own work, what's the very first repetitive task that you're going to automate?